CTV News with Jack Morse.
Scared. I thought I was going to die, and I really thought I wasn't safe.
A local boy speaks out after he was brutally attacked by a dog last week. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, for the first time, we hear from the Barrie boy mauled by a dog on the loose while he was on his way to school last week. The 11-year-old left with serious injuries. The dog found and shot down by police days later. CTV's Rob Cooper starts us off with the boy's story and his recovery.
It is already.
The countless scars and wounds suffered by 11-year-old Arthur Camilletti of Barrie tells a terrifying tale.
He got me on my head at the back, and he got me over here on my leg, and also on my left arm and left hand.
Arthur was riding his scooter to school last week when he says he was attacked by a pit bull-looking dog along Essa Road by Loggers Run.
I honestly thought I was gonna die, or because I felt my arm was about to rip like out of my body. It was horrible. Then the dog got my arm and my leg, so then I was on the ground getting dragged.
Sean Hillen witnessed the attack and ran over to help.
Started hitting it, and I guess I had hit it pretty hard in the head with my snow brush, where my snow brush broke. And then that's when the dog kind of backed up a bit, and my first instinct was just to grab the boy.
Arthur suffered severe injuries and required a 3-hour surgery, hundreds of stitches, and stayed in hospital for 4 days. The dog escaped and wasn't spotted by police until days later when it was ultimately shot. His parents say the local health unit has informed them the dog, shot by police, did not have rabies. Arthur has had to get 3 rabies shots as a precaution before the results came in. City of Barrie bylaw tells CTV News enforcement services continue to work with Barrie police on the investigation, and we are aware of a suspected owner of the dog that we are attempting to locate.
I think about the attack, it's like it hurts a little, but then I realize like I'm okay now and nothing's gonna be happening.
Now, Arthur tells me he is so thankful for the heroic efforts of Sean Hillen that day. He also tells me he's doing better by the day and thanks everyone for their well wishes. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
Barrie police are investigating a suspicious death after a 64-year-old man was found on the ground downtown yesterday. Officers were called to the alley next to a seniors high-rise near Worsley and Point Street for reports of a man who wasn't breathing. The man was brought to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police say his injuries appear to be consistent with a fall. Investigators have been canvassing the area for footage and information. Police say they learned the man was visiting someone in the building, but investigators have not been able to contact that person. It's unclear whether or not he was pushed.
And I think we'll have more answers to that question once we get the results from the post-mortem and once we speak to the witness that we're looking for. So we've spoken to numerous witnesses at the scene. Again, we're still trying to locate this other individual that we do need to speak to.
That post-mortem was scheduled for today in Toronto. The investigation is ongoing. It's been a deadly start to the weekend on our roads. A 21-year-old man has died after a 2-vehicle crash involving a motorcycle in Muskoka this afternoon. It happened around 3:40 on the Gravenhurst Parkway near Relay Road. Police say emergency crews got to the scene quickly, but life-saving measures failed. The driver of the motorcycle died due to his injuries. The people inside the other vehicle suffered minor injuries. The OPP say the Gravenhurst Parkway is closed for the investigation. And a major road in South Barrie is shut down at this hour after a serious 2-vehicle crash there. It happened late this afternoon near Big Bay Point Road and Hurst Drive. The crash involved a motorcycle and a car. Very few details are being released at this time, but Barrie police say the area will be closed off for several hours. They're asking drivers to avoid the area. With all the rain that's fallen in recent days, Parks Canada is advising higher than normal water levels throughout the Trent-Severn waterway. Parks Canada says the elevated levels and faster flows will continue as water management staff work to manage that water. Part of the response will include increasing flows of the Otonabee River in Peterborough, but only outside of navigation hours. Boaters and nearby residents are urged to be cautious around the waterway. The province has maintained its water safety watershed conditions statement for Bracebridge, Minden and Parry Sound District. The Ministry of Natural Resources warning recent high water levels may have washed away safety features like signage and barriers. Flood-prone areas and low-lying roads could also be affected. Residents, boaters, and visitors urged to use extreme caution near dams and secure any vulnerable property near waterways and lakes. That advisory is in effect through Friday. A seventh suspect has been charged in a series of fires in Adjala-Tossarotio dating back 2 years. A 34-year-old from Laval, Quebec is charged with arson and conspiracy to commit an indictable offense. Police say the investigation began in the fall of 2024 after emergency crews responded to multiple fires at unoccupied homes in new subdivisions. Several police teams executed raids at homes across Mississauga, Brampton, Toronto, and Tottenham. The latest accused was arrested when police searched the Laval home last week. South Simcoe police recovered 2 stolen bicycles and arrested 3 suspects in Bradford yesterday. Officers received calls for bikes stolen that morning and earlier in the week. At around 3:30 in the afternoon, police say they arrested a 53-year-old Brampton man riding the first bicycle. At around the same time, police say suspect riding the second stolen bike went right by them. The 55-year-old man was then arrested. Police say they also arrested a third unrelated suspect the same day, a 58-year-old Bradford man wanted on outstanding warrants. Up in Muskoka, the OPP is continuing their public appeal in the search for a Bracebridge man missing for 2 years. 35-year-old Chance Kay of Muskoka Lakes Township was last seen leaving a Gravenhurst motel on Highway 11 on March 28, 2024. Police say a family member reported him missing the next day. The Muskoka Crime Unit is investigating. Ground searches, air searches, and social media appeals have come up short. Kay is described as 5'6" with long dark hair and multiple visible tattoos. The OPP is warning you to stay vigilant for fraud scams. The Collingwood and Blue Mountains Detachment says it often sees an increase in home and property service scams during the spring and summer. Police say these scams include door-to-door contractors offering roofing, landscaping, and other repair services at low prices. Homeowners are urged to do due diligence for hiring anyone to do work on their property and report any suspicious activity to police and the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. The Crown and Defence are making their submissions today on how long a man who stabbed a stranger in Orillia will be in jail. CTV's Mike Arsley's reports, but first a warning, this story contains details some viewers may find disturbing.
If the defense gets its way, Madison Quinn will be out of jail in 6 months after pleading guilty to stabbing and nearly killing a man in Orillia last summer. Quinn, who is now 27, had his sentencing hearing in Barrie. He sat in the prisoner's box and heard from Ryan Laws and his partner Holly, who told the court of the trauma they've suffered since the night of the stabbing outside a motel along West Street. Laws was airlifted to St. Mike's in Toronto and was in hospital for 3 weeks fighting for his life after developing a flesh-eating infection. Telling the court, what began as a joyful celebration at a baby shower ended with me being airlifted on life support. Laws was stabbed in front of his wife, who was 37 weeks pregnant. He had come to her aid after Quinn threatened to kill her for staring at him while he was drunk and hunched over. Your actions have taken away my sense of safety within my own community, Laws explained, saying, when I now hear someone call for help, I am afraid to respond. The court heard Laws confronted Quinn, telling him to apologize to his wife before the men got into an argument, and Quinn pulled out a 4-inch fishing knife and stabbed Laws before running away. Laws telling the court his life has been permanently altered, unable to work while in need of further surgeries to treat scar tissue that hasn't healed. His wife told the court her family is traumatized by the consequences of Quinn's actions, including having to pay a $5,600 Orange Air ambulance bill, while Laws struggles to care for himself and his family. The Crown is seeking a 4.5-year sentence, less extra credit for time served in custody. Quinn's lawyer, Will Cavan, characterized the stabbing as emotion poorly influenced by alcohol, saying Quinn feared for his safety when Laws got in his face. The defense told the court Quinn hates what he did and is remorseful. Quinn apologized to the Laws family, telling them, I am truly sorry for what I have done. Quinn is scheduled to be sentenced next week. Mike Arsley, CTV News, Barrie.
Billionaire businessman Frank Stronach has been found guilty of sexual assault and indecent assault. The decision brings the end to a trial running since February. CTV's John Woodward reports.
Canadian billionaire Frank Stronach left Toronto Superior Court Friday as a convicted criminal. The 93-year-old founder of an auto parts empire that turned him into one of Canada's richest men was found guilty of sexual assault for groping a waitress at a restaurant he used to own in the early 80s, and 1 count of indecent assault for pushing his groin into another woman in his apartment in 1977.
Well, I know that these historic sexual assault charges are incredibly difficult to prosecute. So it's a great relief that 2 of the charges survived the attacks on the integrity and the memories of the 7 complainants.
Stronach could face 12 counts, some where he was accused of using his money, power, and leadership position at Magna International to find women for sex, including this woman, one of the horse trainers on his expansive property north of Toronto.
He wasn't my employer anymore. He was my abductor. He was my rapist.
But as the trial went on, the charges were whittled down. The justice didn't find the woman who made the rape allegation credible, saying there were too many uncertainties about the incident alleged by the woman for me to be satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt as to Mr. Stronach's guilt of the violent rape she described.
Take the time to read her honor's decision very carefully.
His lawyer urging reporters to consider the difference between what was alleged and what Stronach was convicted of.
And we'll take the time, digest the decision, and ask for what we think is the most appropriate sentence in the circumstance of offenses that happened in 1977 and an offense that happened in 1983.
The conviction amounts to a remarkable fall from grace for one of Canada's richest men and will trigger a review of his Order of Canada. And Stronach isn't done at court. He will also face a sentencing hearing, at least 1 civil suit, and another set of similar charges to be heard at a separate trial. John Woodward, CTV News, Toronto.
The County of Simcoe is reminding residents about waste diversion after thousands of pounds of dumped garbage was removed from the county forests last year. The county says most of almost 7 metric tons they recovered was recyclable. They're reminding residents to put trash in their carts, not in the bushes, and encouraging them to use curbside collection, large item pickup, and local waste facilities. It's the Friday before summer officially begins on Father's Day Sunday. Let's take a live look at the drive north on Highway 400 through Barrie. As you can see, it's moving pretty slowly right there at this time. That's no surprise. Lots of people heading up north trying to get to the cottage. Really want to soak in that first day of summer that we have. Now, let's look at first weather. It's brought to you by thegraveldrivewayguy.com. The temperature outside your door in Barrie right now is 18 degrees. Winds sitting out of the west at about 33 kilometers per hour. We look broader across the region. We're seeing 10 degrees in Owen Sound, partly cloudy there. The current temperature, 20 degrees in Owen Sound, 20 in Newmarket and Allison. That's a similar story. 18 here in Barrie and Orillia, 16 if you're a little bit further north in Perry Sound and Gravenhurst, 15 in Algonquin Park. We look at the last few hours. There's been a little bit of rain if you're far north in our region up toward Perry Sound, but other than that, it has been mostly clear. Luke Simard will have your full forecast live from Friday Harbor in just a little bit. Now, a Newmarket hospital is now the first in York Region to use an advanced form of robotic-assisted surgery. Southlake Health announcing today it successfully introduced the Da Vinci surgical system, helping surgeons to do minimally invasive procedures. The hospital says the technology enhances the surgeon's precision and the view of the surgical site, allowing for complex procedures to be done with less damage to your flesh. The system is currently being used by Southlake's urology and general surgery departments with plans to expand it to other units. Now to the FIFA World Cup. Excitement here at home as Team Canada makes history. The men's first ever win in a World Cup match and on home soil.
Just out here with the boys, having a couple drinks, watching the game.
Cheers in the crowd as Canada hit the first and second goals of the match, and the team did not stop, racking up 6 points, 3 in the first half, 3 in the second. The dominating performance pushing them to first in Group B, poised to move on to the next round.
You know what? Maybe I'll have to try to get down and see a game, but I mean, it's up there. If we can bring it home and it's at our home, that'd be monumental.
I thought we'd get together for the World Cup and have a beer maybe and just enjoy the good soccer that's on. It's not often that Canada's in the World Cup to begin with, but the fact that they're on now, we gotta celebrate the moment.
Now, that was right here in Barrie, but we'll have reaction from across the country to yesterday's historic Canada win just a little bit later in the show. Still to come, a new work of art in Wasaga Beach, coming up right out of the minds of the town's youngest citizens, and it's now a reality. Plus, 4.5 million trees planted. We take you to the celebration. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Presented by Paul Sadlin Motors.
Music, it's a small community, so when something's really good, we all want to be part of it.
We have an amazing music scene here. Having people come together in community, listen to some amazing local artists, brings the downtown alive. It brings our city alive.
Troubadour Festival 2026 is going to be off the hook. We've got the Watchmen, Bahamas, going to be great.
Thanks for sticking with us. Well, you've got the water and you've got the sand, but now there's another attraction you can check out in Wasaga Beach.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's pretty cool to see. I thought it was actually pretty awesome and really cool that we got to do this and for this opportunity.
I really like hockey, and so yeah, I just thought of skating trail.
The arena was a big build here in the beach, and it's only the start, and so now they're looking at doing a lot more things for the youth and the entire community.
That 40-foot mural unveiled in the lobby of the Wasaga Stars Arena today. It took the ideas of more than 500 grade 6 and 7 students from the town to make it happen.
During the engagement session for Destination Wasaga, you shared your thoughts, your dreams for our community. And as you did, an incredibly talented mural artist captured your ideas through live illustrations as you spoke, and doodles bringing your vision to life in real time that we now see on the wall behind us.
Students from St. Noel Chabanel Catholic Elementary School, Worsley Elementary School, Birchview Dunes Elementary School, and Wasaga Beach Public School all helped to create the work of art. The Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority celebrating a plentiful tree planting milestone in Essa Township today.
I'm super proud to be here as we celebrate our 3 millionth tree under our modern planting program and more than 4.5 million trees throughout our program's history.
Since 1965, the NVCA, as you heard, has planted 4.5 million trees, thanks to its work and the cooperation from hundreds of landowners across the watershed. The goal to establish forests that improve water quality, reduce erosion, protect wildlife, and create healthier, more resilient communities.
Trees are nature's marvels. They protect nature themselves because they're such a perfect part of holding the soil down, filtering the air. And yeah, I've got to plant trees with scouts and school children and community leaders, and it can be mucky and it can be sunny and hot, but it's always a great day because you feel like you're giving back to the future, really.
4.5 million trees, it is a lot, but the watershed's large and there's lots more places we can plant. And, you know, from a climate change perspective, we need trees. From a watershed management perspective, we need trees. And so each planting fits into that.
This area was a field when we moved in 26 years ago, and now it's a beautiful forest. It's full of wildlife. It's fantastic.
The NVCA says it's already planning for tree planting next year, meeting with landowners now. Berry Hill Farms is celebrating a major milestone today. For the last 50 years, families from around Barrie and the GTA have gone to Berry Hill Farms to pick up strawberries, spend time together, and create lasting memories. New this year, the farm's introducing season passes. No need to pay the daily administration fee if you come pick at the farm often. Berry Hill Farms celebrated with a ribbon cutting and free admission to the grounds.
Today to say thank you to all the people who have supported us over all the years, and look forward to continuing to provide healthy fruits and vegetables and fun family outings so people can continue to connect to how their food is grown.
The farm, which started as a tobacco farm in its early years, has been in the Gervais family since 1966. For information on all our local events, along with other stories, you can go to our website. That's where you can watch our news live online and find all our local stories and breaking news as it happens. Just head to ctvnews.ca/Barrie or scan that QR code on your screen now. Premier Doug Ford is holding his annual barbecue today.
Ford Fest is taking place today in Scarborough. That's right.
Ford Fest runs from now until 9 this evening at Thompson Memorial Park there in Scarborough. The Premier says the free event, previously held in the Ford family backyard in Etobicoke, will feature hot dogs and burgers with carnival rides for the kids and giveaways for the first 500 people. A new poll from Liaison Strategies shows the Ontario Liberals are building momentum. It comes after the Premier got into a battle with another polling firm earlier this week. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris reports.
He's the face of the Ontario government and the Progressive Conservative Party. But public opinion polling reveals more trouble for Doug Ford's personal brand.
We're really seeing that number take a bit of a beating.
In a survey of 1,000 Ontarians last week, Liaison Strategies found support for the Premier at just 26%. 69% disapprove of the job he's doing, and 66% of those asked believe Ontario is headed in the wrong direction.
I think to a certain extent it's death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah. The government's been in place for so long, it's accumulated a lot of baggage.
The government's purchase and return of a $30 million jet is still circling in the minds of Ontarians, something captured by pollster Angus Reid earlier this week. It puts support for Ford at just 21%, the lowest point since he became Premier.
I love this Angus Reid. They put this fake poll out.
Accusing the nonprofit firm of sampling from opposition caucuses and ridings.
The truth of the matter is we'd form a massive majority if the election was held today. For the fourth time.
The president of Angus Reid says she stands by their record of independent, nonpartisan research and has sent a legal letter to the Premier telling CTV News, "We do not intend to litigate this issue in the media, but we do believe the public record should be corrected." The Premier's office has not responded to our request for a response.
His comments are delusional.
It sounds a lot like Donald Trump.
The interim Liberal leader doesn't think this week's numbers are a surprise to Ontarians.
The things that they count on, like their hospitals, their schools, their health care, having a family doctor, life being affordable, it's just not there.
The head of the NDP says the Premier should learn a lesson from these polls, to listen to regular people instead of friends.
It's the people who he's building the giant parking garages for. It's the people that he's trying to please by, allowing jets to land at the island airport.
The brands of all the major parties will be tested with 2 provincial by-elections in the coming months. In Scarborough Southwest, that's typically an NDP riding, and in York Simcoe, where PCs have dominated. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
All right, so Luke is still on his way to Friday Harbor this evening, but we've got something for you. If you're headed out, maybe going north, maybe you want to do a little bit of camping, well, let's take a look at the campfire conditions right across our region right now. In Simcoe County, it's mostly moderate, except for Orillia and Essa, as well as Penetanguishene, which are low, and the rating across Muskoka is moderate. The campfire conditions are brought to you by Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. And the weather watcher for tonight is Penelope with a lovely outdoor scene. You can see she's out there playing with some of the forest animals. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And next week on the show, we've got a treat. We're giving away tickets to see Blue Rodeo on August 29th.
So make sure you're listening from 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Picture this. Brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
A big thank you to everyone who sent in photos this week for Picture This. Our pick of the week belonged to Andrea Flattery. Next week, as we head into Father's Day weekend, we want to celebrate Dad. Send us your photos of your father or the father figure in your life. Snap a pic and send it in to Picture This at ctv.ca for a chance to be featured. Now, it is a beautiful, warm and sunny evening out there right now. As you can see, the traffic is still slowly crawling up through Barrie here as people from down in the GTA are trying to make their way up to Cottage Country. And can you blame them? That's certainly where I'd like to be this weekend. All right. Now, the current temperatures outside your door right now. If you're in Barrie, it's about 18 degrees. Same in Orillia. As warm as 20 degrees in Alliston Newmarket. Toronto's the hot spot at 22 degrees. The coldest spot in our region right now at just after 6:30, 15 degrees in Algonquin Park. Looking at the almanac today, the high was 19.2 degrees. It's a little bit below normal and well below the record, 35 set back in 1872. The low, that is 11.3, right on normal and above the record. That's 2.2 degrees set back in 1956. That would be a cold day. That would be a cold summer day. Now, let's look at the forecast for the next 24 hours here. We're seeing a little bit of cloud cover and a little bit of rain in our region, depending on where you are as the day goes on, kind of swooping down from the north there. In your forecast tonight, we're looking at Owen Sound, 10 degrees and partly cloudy there. Orillia, Barrie, Wasaga Beach, and most of the rest of the region, 11 degrees and cloudy overnight. For tomorrow, it'll warm up again with 19 in Owen Sound and sun, 20 degrees for all the rest of the tip of southern Georgian Bay there, and sunny, 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 sunny. Good Saturday. Now, if we look overnight in York region, we're seeing 11 degrees in Orangeville, 12 in Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, the rest of the region. Partly cloudy throughout York region there. Tomorrow morning, we're seeing 22 degrees in Orangeville, 23 in Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, 24 in Richmond Hill, and sunny, another sunny day. Now, Cottage Country, where everyone is trying to get right now, not as nice up there this evening. 12 in Perry Sound with thunder across the region, 13 in Huntsville, 12 in Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, and Halliburton. For tomorrow, there's still a chance of thunder there, so sun, cloud, chance of thunder showers through there, but the high up to 21 degrees for the region. Now let's look at your Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day forecast. Of course, first we are at Simcoe County. Beautiful weekend coming up and sunny on Father's Day with a high of 22. On Monday, we're seeing that rain return, a high of 20 and a low down to 12 degrees. Then it'll be sun and cloud out through the rest of the week into Wednesday with a high up to 23. That'll be the hot spot there. Looking at York region, it's a similar story. A nice sunny weekend. 24 is the hottest part of next week, and for Father's Day, it'll be nice and lovely. Monday, the rain comes in, unfortunately, but it's the start of the work week. It doesn't, who cares? 20 degrees there on Monday, then sun and cloud with a high of 23 out to Wednesday there. For Muskoka, Perry Sound, and Halliburton, Saturday is, obviously we talked about that, but Sunday is not going to be a lot better. You got sun, cloud, and rain there on Father's Day, though warm at 22 degrees. Monday, the rain really sets in, only going up to 21. And Tuesday, Wednesday at 22, 23 degrees, sun and cloud. So a little bit of rain in the immediate forecast, but it kind of goes off. Looking at the marine report now for Lake Huron. In the northern part of the lake, winds are out of the west, 13 knots, waves less than a meter. Southern Lake Huron, winds are west-northwest, 18 knots, waves less than 1 meter. Now that's brought to you by Suzuki Marine. And remember, if you're on northern Lake Huron, there's a strong wind warning in effect. We look now at Georgian Bay. We have the winds northwest, 25 knots, so it's quite windy there. The waves at 1.5 meters. For Lake Simcoe, northwest winds 10 knots and waves at 0.5 meter. That again is your marine report brought to you by Suzuki Marine. The County of Simcoe is celebrating 3 local employers for their achievements in workplace inclusion. Waypoint Center for Mental Health Care, Empower Simcoe, and Horman Innovative Door Systems all got the Gold Achiever recognition. The 3 recognized for their work strengthening the workforce development across the region. One Barrie MP is continuing an annual scholarship program for local high school grads. John Broussard is awarding $200 scholarships to graduating students from each high school across Barrie South Innisfil, a program first established in 2010. The scholarship supports students pursuing their post-secondary studies in the fields like political science, Canadian history, and civics. Now, you have until midnight to get your tickets for a chance to win the VIP prize of the Princess Margaret Cottage Lottery. Here's your chance to win a Mazda MX-5 and a Mediterranean trip to Croatia, or take home $75,000 in cash. Plus, there are 3,500 prizes of $100 cottage lottery tickets, over 12,000 prizes valued at more than $9 million, including 3 grand prize cottages in Muskoka, Blue Mountain, and Halliburton. The cottages are fully furnished, professionally decorated, and naturally landscaped. To get your tickets, head to princessmargaretlotto.com or call the number on your screen now. Still to come, the Leafs make a major trade, picking up a top defenseman from Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll tell you who that is. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Recapping our top stories, 11-year-old Arthur Camilati's scars tell a story. Mauled by a vicious dog 2 weeks ago and setting off a multi-day search that ultimately saw the animal shot. He says he thought he was going to die and he needed hundreds of stitches and hours of surgery to recover. Barrie police are investigating a suspicious death after they say officers found a 64-year-old man with injuries consistent with a fall outside a senior's high-rise downtown. Police say he was visiting a person in the building, but they haven't been able to get in touch with that person. The Crown is seeking 4.5 years for Madison Quinn after he pleaded guilty to stabbing a stranger, Ryan Laws, in Orillia last summer. The attack left Laws fighting for his life for 3 weeks at St. Mike's. The defense wants Quinn out of jail in 6 months. Gas prices started dropping after that tentative peace deal was announced, but experts caution that returning to prices before the conflict, well, that could take some time. CTV's Alex Carpa has more on the supply challenges and the cautious hope for relief.
Darnell Barrett says he's still shocked every time he fills up his tank.
Incredibly frustrating, man.
He recently sold his Hummer as payments for gas were becoming all too expensive, saying the last little while has been a challenge.
When it's being taken out of your pocket, you know, with gas prices like this, it's a completely different story and it's a crunch for everybody.
Philip Intac is also feeling the pinch at the pump.
The higher it goes, it's not good for our budget, you know. It gets so expensive.
Although drivers are seeing some relief at the pumps, those that I spoke to say gas prices are still too high and are hoping for further decreases soon. Gas prices did fall in Canada this week following the signing of a tentative peace agreement between Iran and the United States that includes the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. As of this morning, gasoline was an average of 163.9 across Canada, according to Gas Buddy, which is down over 5 cents from last week and down almost 25 cents from last month's average. Still, some experts caution the relief may be temporary.
This weekend, we're going to see an increase, 5 or 6 cents a litre on average right across Canada, and that's because we've had this on again, off again. There's a peace agreement, there is an MOU, it's to be signed, it's not to be signed. There's always, 2 steps forward, 2 steps backwards.
The Canadian government also suspended the federal gas and diesel tax back in April, which will remain until September. The move was expected to reduce prices by 10 cents per litre for gasoline and 4 cents per litre for diesel.
Even with the temporary suspension of federal gas taxes, we're looking at prices in Manitoba and other places across the country being 20 to 30 cents higher than they were before.
As Canadians head into summer, gas prices remain uncertain, with experts warning further relief may not come anytime soon. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A new report says the province needs more than 1 million university graduates over the next decade if it wants to keep up with labor market demands. Stokes Economics conducted the research on behalf of the Council of Ontario Universities to meet demands in finance, healthcare, science and technology. The report says we'll need 56,000 graduates each year. The biggest labour market need is in STEM jobs, with roughly 213,000 graduates needed by 2035. The report says failing to meet those numbers poses a risk to Ontario's growth and long-term prosperity. There is word Canada, the U.S. and Mexico will meet July 1st to talk trade. A review of CUSMA was supposed to have happened by then to see if there's any interest in extending the deal, but so far the three countries have not all sat down face-to-face to talk about it. On Wednesday, President Donald Trump said he wanted CUSMA terminated immediately. Canada's proposing the deal be extended 13 years. Now in the markets, the TXS was down 111 points. U.S. stock and commodities markets are closed for the Juneteenth holiday. Our dollar was down, ending the day at 70.57 cents U.S. To sports now, the first place Barrie Baycats and last place Toronto Maple Leafs are back in action tonight.
6 home runs already, and he gets under that one. It's pretty deep to left field. Will it carry out of here? It will!
The Baycats cruised past the Leafs 14-3 last night at Athletic Culture Stadium thanks to 4 home runs. Tonight's matchup is in Toronto. First pitch is just after 7:30. Now, after sweeping the Red Sox, the Blue Jays opened a series with the Cubs in Chicago this afternoon.
And Kelly hits it a ton to left field, and it is gone.
Not a good start for Kevin Gausman. He allowed 7 runs in the first inning, including a grand slam. Gausman was done after 2 innings, his shortest outing of the season. The Cubs went on to rout the Jays 16-2. A major trade for the Maple Leafs, acquiring defenseman Darren Radish from the Tampa Bay Lightning. The 30-year-old is coming off a career season best, putting up 70 points in 73 games. The Leafs signed Radish to an 8-year contract extension after completing the deal, giving a 5th-round draft pick to Tampa. With a win at home tonight, the Toronto Marlies can wrap up the American Hockey League Championship after a missed opportunity yesterday.
Side of the goal, it comes, sends it back out front. A little backhander shot, scores!
The Chicago Wolves came from behind to beat the Marlies 4-3 in Game 4 overtime, spoiling the Marlies' chance at sweeping the Calder Cup final. The teams will be back on the ice at Coca-Cola Coliseum tonight. Puck drop set for 7 o'clock. Still to come, it was one for the history books. Team Canada's first World Cup win, but a dark cloud hangs over that victory. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Taking a look at your primetime lineup for tonight. At 8 o'clock, our CTV2 movie, Voyagers. At 10:30, Corner Gas and CTV News at 11. The Canadians men's team have their first ever World Cup win with a dominant victory over Qatar. Canada took control, scoring just under 30 minutes into the match and never looked back. The final score, 6-0. While fans were thrilled, CTV's Kevin Karach explains why a dark cloud hangs over the historic victory.
One day after the biggest day in the history of Canadian men's soccer, the team took to the training pitch at the University of British Columbia. The mood, bittersweet. A blowout 6-0 win over Qatar, which came with the loss of star Ismail Kone, who broke his leg in yesterday's match.
I was really proud of the team to feel the emotion, but also stay focused on the task at hand.
The task at hand was to win, which the team did decisively.
In World Cup history, there's never been such a dominant performance. That's the truth. And so I think our team will take a lot of confidence from that.
It's the first World Cup win ever for the men's team in only its 3rd appearance. Up until this year, the Canadian men had never earned a World Cup point, a sign of how far the program has come.
This team checked a lot of boxes in the past couple of years, and the way and the fashion that we did was something that we're very proud.
Following the game, the Prime Minister visited the team's dressing room, praising their character.
But you showed a level of character that some people never achieve in their life.
A question going into this tournament, is Canada now a footballing nation? Based on the crowd yesterday and the result on the field, the answer seems to be an emphatic yes.
It was a tremendous sign. We don't have to hold our breath anymore or bite our nails. were there.
From the outset, the goal of this team has been to win their group, which would allow them to remain in Vancouver for the first match of the knockout stage. To do that, they need at least a draw against Switzerland, a game that goes Wednesday in Vancouver. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
All right, we've been waiting for him all show, but here he is now, CTV's Luke Samard. Luke, what's going on?
Well, Jack, you know how traffic is on a Friday right through Simcoe County. But yes, we are here. We have made it to Friday Harbor, and we'll just look at the scenery behind me. It is absolutely fantastic. The sun is setting, and we are in store for a great weekend right here at the resort. Now, we're going to be joined by CEO of Friday Harbor Resorts, Hani Rustam. Hani, thanks so much for joining us. Just tell me a bit about what's going on this weekend, because you have a full slate of activities.
Luke, welcome to Friday Harbor as we enter an exciting weekend here at the resort. So, obviously, you're going to really be asking me what's happening at Friday Harbor, and I can tell you that's going to be a fantastic weekend. And this weekend is a great example of the greatest snapshot of what Friday Harbor can offer throughout the summer. We've got live entertainment, we've got waterfront dining, we've got our market, summer series. We've got a lot of things happening, and I'm sure all our visitors will enjoy their time here at the resort. Now, tomorrow, Saturday, June the 20th, we're going to kickstart our summer concert series, and we're going to be doing that with a night with Elvis on the CIBC Pier. This night's going to be high energy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, we're going to be celebrating the king of rock and roll. As you know, we're going to be featuring 2 award-winning tribute artists. We're going to have a DJ, so the whole evening is going to be a lot of fun. Now, there are limited tickets for the event. You can find them at Friday Harbor, FridayHarbor.com/events. Okay, so that's Saturday. On Sunday, June the 21st, Father's Day, as you know that, we're going to really be featuring our Supercars event. It's going to be luxury cars, going to be exotic cars, going to be our market series, and our visitors, our fathers, can really enjoy their time. Of course, checking the cars that we're going to have, strolling the promenade, and what a great occasion to really, enjoy a Sunday, celebrate the fathers, celebrate family time together, and have a great time all together. Okay, so going back to our summer concert series, that's Saturday, June the 20th. More tickets on FridayHarbor.com/events, and we're looking forward to really welcoming everyone to this exciting and amazing weekend ahead of us.
And real quick, Hon, ABBA is going to be coming if you can't make it, and it's just another exciting one.
Yes. So this we've got the 3 installations for our summer concert series. We're going to have one in July and it's going to be featuring the Spice Girls, and of course ABBA is going to be in August. Okay, August the 29th. So really, if you miss tomorrow, we'll see you in July, and if you miss July, we'll see you in August.
Well, there we go. And thank you so much for joining us right here at Friday Harbor Resort. Elvis Presley, you're not going to want to miss it. And speaking of tomorrow, as we get up and go for our forecast, we're talking about sunny skies right through the region. In Barrie, you're going to see a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 13. Newmarket, a high of 14. And a little bit further north, you can see some more cloudy conditions and a high of 14. Jack?
All right, Luke, thanks so much for that. That is our newscast for tonight. I'm Jack Morse, and thank you for watching. I'll be back on the desk for your news at 11 o'clock. Until then, well, you have a great night.